Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is Shuttleworth the God, a.k.a. the GOAT Artist, a.k.a. LB Lauderdale Boss, Soul Wars Creator, Ring Gang, Radio.com, in the building, back at the regularly scheduled time. Sorry for my Euro fan out there.
Yes, sir.
But we'll still hold it down because podcast will be up tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house, man. You know, we try to be worldwide, but sometimes, you know, this evening time, is the time, But we still keeping that Sundays though. But yep, Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's good? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Yes, sir. King P, Bodega P, straight from the sewer, except he's above ground today, trying to keep cool in this, this mini heat wave that we got. That's, that has hold of the Northeast. Is that correct, King P?
Yep. But I mean, the heat, I don't mind the heat. It could be 100 in this bitch and you won't hear me complaining.
Wait till you get 100 every fucking day, nigga.
Hey, I'm a different breed. I don't mind. I'm not gonna say I hate the cold and how much I like the warm weather, and then get mad when we get warm weather.
True. That's pure facts, man. Sometimes we just have to live with what Mother Nature gives us. Sometimes, not all the time, though.
Although that people with 70 degrees down here, 65 on tap, like all the time, I'd be happy.
Yeah, you're lucky though.
And damn 95 degrees, 100 degrees, everything.
Yeah, shit. I've been getting darker the last couple of days being out in the sun.
Damn.
That's what it is, though. And then last but certainly not least, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's fly? It's your boy Conscious Pilot, aka the West Coast Avenger, #1 contender, preparing for liftoff. Destination Ring Gang Radio. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Conscious Pilot, he's always elevating. He stays elevating above the masses. Yes, sir. So yeah, tonight, definitely got to, drop some bars and whatnot for this farce of an event that happened on Sunday night. I can't begin to say how annoying it was. It was like, wait a minute, it's not on Saturday? No, nigga, you know how to read? 6-6, bro. 6-6. Is that Saturday? I got, that shit was irritating me to no end. People asking me. I was like, it's Sunday, not Saturday. I don't know how many times I've even had.
Because our minds are so compartmentalized to look forward to boxing on a Saturday that it's not Saturday. Like I even got confused for a minute. Shit.
Yeah, and of course for our fans, out here now, why was the Mayweather Paul pay-per-view on Sunday? Is because originally there was a pay-per-view on Saturday. The Teofimo Lopez George Kambosos Triller pay-per-view was scheduled for that Saturday, but unfortunately, some words were said, between Teofimo and Floyd, and Leonard Ellaby kind of pulled a dick move, and put it right next there. And most boxing fans will not pay for two pay-per-views in a row. Box pay-per-views in a row.
In the same fucking city, nonetheless.
Yeah, in the same, yeah. So that, which is some absolute bullshit. So Triller moved it off from there to a day that's already jam-packed with boxing, which is another conversation in itself.
So for the amount of people who was in the arena for the Floyd fight, you could have had the Teofimo Lopez fight the day before.
I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like nobody came there until everybody just literally came to see the Floyd fight, and they're the biggest complainers.
Yeah, like, and then you saw that, and you're like, and you see all these people was like, oh, this shit sucks, and this shit was trash and whatnot. So because niggas didn't want to be there. Now, if for people who actually were there, you actually saw a gem of a fight, and it was really the only good thing on this card. it was a good thing for. It was good. It was only a good for,
Although the
for
first
all
fight
the wrong
provided
fucking reasons.
some decent fuckery to kind of get you started. I'll give you that.
Yes, and because we're talking about Chad Ochocinco Johnson, or because I guess he changed his last name back, since he's not playing anymore, facing your local bar knuckle fighter, low level pro Brian Maxwell, and Chad for the most part, I mean, he showed a little bit of athleticism. He showed a little something. I mean, he managed to wobble dude with a right hook in the second round and whatnot.
And he had a nice sharp jab.
Yeah.
Good, pretty decent footwork.
Yeah.
He was pivoting nice. He showed the athleticism. Like, honestly, for someone's first fight, he didn't look bad.
He took
And a halfway decent right hook, even though he was kind of wide, but decent.
Yeah.
The footwork had some, for a first-time 43-year-old boxer, I mean, I was kind of impressed. I mean, it could have been
nigga's a wide receiver. If he ain't have footwork, then
that's true. One of the best route runners of all time.
Wide receiver.
He's one of the
can't
best
be a
route
wide
runners.
receiver and not have footwork.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you can't have them. If you're a wideout, you definitely gotta have some footwork, and and it was decent though. However, he still had some amateur mistakes. Well, keeping his hands down, like his hands were a little bit too low, and I was just like, yo, like this guy is, and on top of that, he was pulling back. He was pulling back with his hands down. So, and that led to the fourth round.
The happy feet.
Yeah, the happy feet.
His feet were a little too happy.
Where Maxwell landed, dude landed overhand right from all the way back over there, as Chad was pulling out, and was pulling out and whacked him right across the jaw, sending him face first to the canvas.
It was almost like a hook in a way, because if you saw, he connected like a straight right to the chest, and then he went up top with the same hand.
I mean, it could have been like a damn near a roundhouse, but because that shit was wide. Like the nigga said, phew.
Yeah, it was more hook than overhand, but from the angle, I guess, and the way Chad, he caught it like it was an overhand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually. But yeah, that was a hard fucking punch. That knockdown was literally one of the best moments of the whole night.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'm surprised though. To his credit though, he got up though, but clearly, dude, I mean, he was out of it. Like, I mean, dude was like, trying to tap gloves. I'm like, nigga, the fight ain't over yet, bruh. Like, he's coming to knock you out. I mean,
Maxwell took him off the hook though. Desus Mero had them jokes, man, with the the Maxwell coffee.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yo, them niggas is usually corny to me, but they was on point that night.
No, I mean, no, they were good during this fight, but later on, they kind of got a little bit, yes, Showtime had to silence them because they started dropping the N-words and shit, so they had to, like...
They was getting too hyped,
yeah.
Like, they thought they was at a Triller event.
Yeah, and I'll complain about that in a little bit, too, but yeah, no, but Chad, though, he took that punch, he got up, and he survived. Yeah, Brian probably went off the hook with that, but I also...
That was his idol, bro, like, he ain't gonna knock out his idol.
Nigga, fuck that. If I'm a low-level fighter like that and all eyes are on me and I can be on ESPN Sports Center top 10 play, nigga, I'm gonna knock this nigga out, bruh.
Yo, facts. Hey, man. He built different, God. We built different, because I feel you, man. If I get the opportunity to... Shit, I'm letting them hands go, but I don't know. I almost felt like dude was on some, look, I'm gonna let you get comfortable, but you gonna make sure I'm gonna let you know that you've been in a boxing match by the end of this fight.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Definitely. I mean, Maxwell definitely let him know, like, yo, this ain't the gridiron, bro. Like, this is boxing. And the funny thing is too, when that knockdown happened, I was engaging with our followers. Both Errol Spence and Ishe Smith were both like, yeah, like they were on that shit. It was like, yeah, no, this is boxing, bro. Like. Y'all can't fuck around the sport. Like them niggas was like, yeah, that's a warning to you, Chad. Like they were on it.
Yeah, football niggas hold this L.
Yeah. So I mean, Chad survived, but the thing is, at the end of the fight, you could tell dude was still out of it, and dude was also gassing too. Two things. So he was lucky that the shit was only four rounds. It was 2-minute rounds too.
Or 2-minute rounds, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, yo, if it was any longer, Chad probably could have been actually knocked out in the next round. Because he looked like he was probably ready to go.
He would have got knocked out in the third round if it was 4 regular 3-minute rounds.
That's true.
He would have got gassed at the end of the second, and then probably KO'd in the beginning of the third round, maybe the first minute and a half.
Yup. So luckily, exhibitions, there was no winners and stuff like that. And Chad, he performed decent, but yeah, he got a wake up call that you don't play boxing, and unfortunately that message will also get skewed kind of later on in the card, but we'll also get to that. But
one thing I'll say with Chad, he did like he was humble about it. He laughed about it. It was cool. So
yeah,
all's fair in love and boxing, I guess.
He's a people champ. People love Chad. So it was nice, him to be able to share his message after. It was a good message after that. So that was cool.
Yeah, and it's also too like I also know something like usually athletes, like when Nate Robinson got knocked out by Jake Paul, like basketball players, they had them jokes. Like they had some real jokes. I didn't see no jokes with Chad getting at least dropped. Because football players be talking that trash, and I thought I would have seen something. They do.
Yeah, but you got two different situations though. One guy fucking called out a fucking YouTuber, and just because he was athletic, and thinking he could beat his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing, and at least Chad Johnson looked like he took boxing training somewhat serious, and actually did some shit that you could say, okay, show some decent footwork. Okay, the jab was popping. He didn't get everything correct, but at least it showed that he took it serious. Nate Robinson just
he just jumped in the ring.
He got memed. It's like there's nothing redeeming you could say about it. And he asked for it. So.
Yeah, he got memed. Yeah, and I don't think Chad is not gonna get memed for this. I don't think I've seen one meme, so he's good.
I seen a couple, but nothing crazy, nothing that's like, oh shit, like, because his situation's different. Like he didn't take a L like Nate Robinson. Like you could kind of give Chad props for what he did. Nate Robinson, there's nothing redeeming you could say about it. You had all those mattress giant memes and
had
him lying up next to other people.
No, that was some bad ones.
They made a challenge out of that, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
I remember Jake Paul was in somebody rap video, and they started just doing the Nate Robinson.
Yeah, the Nate Robinson challenge, like it was all fucked up. It had this Nate.
There were some bad ones.
That wasn't happening in Chad.
Yeah, there were some bad ones. Plus, people like. I don't know. People like Chad. I mean, Chad's. He has his faults, but he's a likable guy.
So I mean that's why like I said, he wasn't a Nate situation. Nate looked like he didn't box a goddamn thing, in his training. Where at least Chad, you actually see like he probably at least them Charlos probably gave him a crash course, and whooped his ass a little bit to get him, to get his defense and offense to at least off to a rudimentary like beginning.
They better use that damn footwork.
Yeah.
And that just show you footwork. Defense starts at the feet.
Mm-hmm.
So, as somebody who's learning boxing and you teaching them for the first time, make sure their footwork is the first thing you drill in their head.
Absolutely.
They'll fucking keep that in their head, man. Like, you started skipping steps, and you gotta learn how to feint off the jab and then come with the up. Nah, get that footwork on point. Yeah,
and that's actually a perfect segue into the best fight of the night for all the wrong fucking reasons, and it's in the part that we thought it would actually be a dud, Luis Arias versus former unified 154 champion Jarrett Swift Hurd. Now, when we heard us talk about this before, like we were kind of, we weren't feeling this fight, mostly because Arias has had a reputation. He talks a good talk, he talks a good fight. He talks a lot of shit, but this is a guy that
don't necessarily really back it up though. He just kind of survives or does just enough.
Exactly.
Shout outs to I think it was Rusty Taylor who
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Rusty
Who was really asking about this fight and talking about this fight. Yo, shout out to him because, like, I guess he was right after all. It was the best fight.
Yeah, he was. And then LB was talking that shit too, and people were telling LB to get the fuck out of here too. You know, but yeah, apparently, you know, Arias, you know, he hooked up with I think Ismail Salas as a new trainer, and you know, and for once he backed up. But this is, like I said, this was a guy that, you know, that pretty much phoned it in against Jacobs, lost damn near every round, could not beat Gabriel Rosado, and even worst of all, was beaten down by Luke Keeler.
Luke fucking Keeler. Let that sink in. Probably one of Andre's worst opponents ever.
Dropped twice in that fight too.
Dropped fucking twice. Not once. Twice.
Yeah. You know, imagine that. So imagine when you see Louis, you know, this, you know, thinking like, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy for Hurd. You know, Hurd's gonna put this dude away. That now, you know, and funny thing too is like me and LB. You know, LB was also, you know, we were also discussing like trying to, you know, like putting money on the fight, and I didn't think it was a good idea because, you know, Luis Arias is, you know, what he is. This is probably one of those times that he probably should have not listened to me.
Yeah. Like this is the second time. The first one was the Super Bowl, but I'm keeping count.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I can't even blame nobody because it's just I blame Hurd and Arias for just being so fucking up and down and just trash lately.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. It's like what? And immediately, you know, Hurd had me saying, "What the fuck?" Because, you know, I mean, Arias was out there landing overhand rights, like flush overhand rights over Hurd's lazy ass shoulder roll.
Yeah, he was spamming. He was spamming them. Walked in and spammed every time. Every time.
And it was hard overhands. They weren't like pushing the shot enough.
Like how you back a man into the ropes and then get your head, you know, knocked off while doing it. Like.
And he was taking it for, it was like 4 or 5 straight rounds of Arias landing these, like he was like he'd go to the body and then spam and then spam an overhand. Like I don't see people spam overhand rights like that. Not even Water spams his right as much as Arias was doing it. Like it was crazy, and he was landing,
and he couldn't miss with it.
He couldn't miss with it. That was the wild thing. He could not miss.
And then he was down. He did it the whole fight. To be honest, like I mean, the fight wasn't even really close like that. Like Hurd probably won like maybe 3 rounds.
Yeah, maybe. And that's what I'm saying though. He was doing, because Hurd didn't do a goddamn thing. Like Hurd regressed back into his old style. Like, you know, before, and like, if you saw him in the Santana fight, he was actually trying to box and he didn't look good. And didn't look good because Santana was shot to shit. And, you know, and it lasted when it went the distance. And so his boxing was not. So yeah, the boxing needed some tweaking. Now this was probably something. If he had actually boxed, he probably could have at least maybe gotten the nod. But this nigga decided to, like, you know what? I'm gonna take these shots. And you know, Hurd is a notorious weight cutter. Like Dude, I think Dude mentioned that he cut 50 pounds to make this weight.
Yeah, Dude was at like 250. Dude was at like 250. Yeah, when it was 160.
Yeah. And the funny thing with Hurd is, like, Dude looks normal at over 200 pounds. He doesn't look fat. So imagine he's cutting that type of fucking weight to actually be there, to actually try to take this fight at 160, which is another thing too, because 154 is usually where he has his advantages, but at 160, every single time he fights at a division that's higher than him, his advantages go away, and he struggles.
I think he still would have the advantage if he could fucking implement the right strategy to put him to work. Like, Dude just was doing so many mistakes. I don't think it would have mattered if he was at 160 or 154. Matter of fact, at 154, if he would have fought somebody, one of the top 15 people at 154, he probably would have got stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he was getting hit with shit that I'm thinking, like, man, Brandon Adams might take this dude.
Shit,
man, Shane Mosley Jr. might take this dude.
I don't know. People are saying Munguia. I'm like, nah, Munguia would definitely beat Hurd. I feel like
Munguia would beat the shit out of Hurd. Like, but I don't think Munguia believes it though.
Yeah, he don't believe it.
That's a sad part.
Yeah, and you could tell like the temperature on Twitter about it, like everyone was like, "Yo, what the fuck is Hurd doing?" Like, keep in mind, Hurd is only a couple fights away from being a unified 154 champion. Like, dude was probably the top dog at 154 for a brief period.
They were gonna do a paper. I feel like they were lining up a Charlo pay-per-view, headliner pay-per-view, man. That's what I felt like.
That shit is done. Yeah,
shit's done.
Completely done. Yeah.
Yeah.
My fucking artwork for Charlo Hurd is like it's like one of my favorites. But man, it's the biggest disappointment, man.
Yeah, like I mean, that fight is. I'd say it marinated a little bit too long, but it was just a couple of situations that unfortunately happened. With Hurd. After he lost
and Charlo. If Charlo
and Charlo too. Yeah, you're right.
If Charlo didn't get the short end of the stick against Harrison the first time, we probably could have gotten that fight afterward.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That fight should have been made anyway before the Harrison fight.
They were milking it for no damn reason.
Yeah. Or another thing was Hurd should have gotten his rematch clause and faced J-Rock again. He probably would have had another chance to actually. He probably would have had a better chance of beating J-Rock if he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that was after J-Rock lost his belts, and then the belts fell. That whole rematch clause was done. So yeah, but yeah, Hurd was just awful. Like, and he was getting bullied by Arias too. Like every time he tried to bully Arias, he was gassing. Like he pushed him to the ropes, but he couldn't keep him there because Arias was using his footwork. Every time he touched ropes, Arias got the fuck out of there. Like he wasn't gonna get ate up like that.
And he was touching the body and turning Hurd. Like I know the ring apron, the ring mat was annoying as fuck. But you got to look at it both ways. Both guys were getting chances to rest. I did think Hurd almost had him out of there. Like, I do believe he could have KO'd him.
Yeah, I think it was like in the seventh.
Yeah, and I think it was in the 8th round or something like that. He messed up. He had him dead to right.
He had him. Even though he might not drop him, I felt like that drop was kind of iffy.
Yeah, the first knockdown. Yeah, like they said, it evened itself out.
Yeah, it was raining.
Yeah, no, that knockdown was honestly that fake knockdown from Hurd. That's probably the first time in a while, if ever, that I can remember really like giving a 9-9 round. Because I'm like, shit, you made me give him a 9 round. Like, I'm not gonna give him credit for that fake knockdown, but it was also called. And then the rest of the round, fucking Arias was boxing the shit out of him.
He won. He won. After he got up, he was winning that round.
And
the thing is, even if you do give Hurd the extra point, I still think he lost.
No, he lost.
And the worst thing,
it just would have been 96-94 instead of 96-93 for me.
Right. And the worst thing was Arias was not only landing overhand rights, but he was starting to land lead uppercuts too on this big ass nigga. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like Hurd was eating uppercuts too. Like,
he was getting
that's supposed to be Hurd punch.
Yeah,
and he was winning on the inside game, which that was Hurd's bread and butter. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he was getting good exchanges in the inside, which I mean, that was Hurd's during his run.
But the thing is, Hurd, but then Hurd usually had good work rate on the inside. Hurd was just landing was trying to land just one uppercut at a time, and then
with one hand too.
With one hand.
Hurd wasn't even trying to fight with both hands in the fight on the inside. Like, I can't even say he regressed. It's like he went from damn Street Fighter 3 to fucking damn Street Fighter 1 or some shit. Like, you only could pick Ken and Ryu. Like he didn't even go to the Street Fighter Alphas.
Nah, that nigga,
the first one.
Nah, that nigga went from Ryu to Dan. Fuck out of here.
Man, I don't even know if we're gonna use the damn palette swap for Dan on this one.
I'm saying.
Like, he was mixing it. Like, he was Ryu from like the 1988 Street Fighter. He missing pixels and shit.
Yeah,
couldn't even get the left hook.
Yo, it was just so bad because when that final bell rang, because I mean, Arias also was rocking her late too. So I'm thinking to myself, Yeah, I was like, there was no fucking way that they, that, I mean, because I was waiting for the PBC fucker, because I was like, Arias really beat the shit out of Hurd in this fight. Like, he really did.
Yeah,
like, it was not close. And a judge still gave Hurd, one of the judges still gave Hurd the fight.
Yeah, he must have caught one of them overhand rights.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Fucked up his vision for the whole night. Like, he was like, damn.
So do y'all think it's over? I mean, not over, but do you think he can bounce back, or just the wars took a toll on him and J-Rock took his soul? And
he's done.
As a championship level fighter, he's not gonna.
Done.
It's done.
He's gonna go the way. He's gonna go the way of Angulo. Sorry to say it, but
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean,
but hold on, Angulo at least has some late career surgeons. Like, I don't even see her doing that.
Yeah, he'll go the way of Margarito without the eye injury.
Margarito has some late. at least Margarito was beating them. What's that dude before the Pacquiao fight? And I think
Roberto Garcia. Yeah,
Roberto Garcia, Ramon Alvarez. I don't see her beating nobody right now.
Yeah, like her. I mean, her right now is in a very particular place. Like, he needs to make a change. Like, I mean, if anything, before he takes that fight, like, dude really needs to sit down and be like, yo, I just lost to a guy that couldn't even, that got beat down by Luke Keeler. What the fuck is wrong with me? I was a unified 154 champion. I have wins over Tony Superman Harrison, Austin Trout, Landy Lara. What the fuck am I doing wrong?
That defense, like, I don't know what they telling him in the gym, bro. Like, you was with Crawford training.
Them Jason Voorhees recuperative powers are falling off.
Those wars took a toll on his ass for sure.
Yeah, I think Hurd is taking a lot of punishment in a short amount of time because he's he needs to walk through everybody, to wear him down. And you can't do that for every fight, especially with people who can actually whack a little bit.
But here's the thing, he couldn't even do that. It's different if he regressed back into the old Hurd and was still getting hit, but his offense was on point. Then I wouldn't be so hard on him. But he couldn't even do that. Like, the man offense, it's like the basic shit that he used to do. He couldn't even do that anymore.
Yeah,
like, he became a one-handed, get hit too much fighter. Before he was a get hit too much, but when the snowball keeps turning and going downhill, you're like, okay, it's gonna be a problem. Like, he couldn't do anything. The only thing that was still there was his chin, barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, because this fight was not supposed to be a slugfest. This fight was not supposed to be a war for him. And it's sad to say that Arias probably knocked off a little bit more of his punch resistance too. It's sad to say Arias only has 9 KOs in his career. 9.
That's what I'm saying. It was just so hard to just even bet for this fight. Like, if you bet on this one, hey, you a better man than me.
Yeah, I mean, if you bet on this fight, you basically got a bag for this. If you
you talking to a nigga who be calling upsets all the time. So like, I couldn't even fuck with this one. Arias had not won a fight since 2017. On top of that, so it wasn't like he had a longer losing streak than Broner. I feel like I gotta see all this shit twice tonight because it's like the emphasis of like her looking so unspectacular. Just, and whoever had tickets to this fight and missed this fight, put jelly on yourself because you're fucking done.
Yeah, exactly. You that it was easily the fight of the night.
I saw an upset. Yeah, almost fight of the year. You would have saw the Chad Johnson, fuckery like. But if you came in late, which looked like 75% of the audience did, and you missed a treat.
Yeah, you definitely did.
He's about to be 31, so I mean, if I was him, if he's serious about continue his career, I would try to fight this year. By the end of the year, I'd call out and say, "Come on, let me get one more or something." If he still
need to fight again this year and fight somebody and win. But that's the thing. Imagine how much he get hit during training.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, like, there's no way, like, Hurd definitely needs to fight again, but Hurd also took a lot of punishment, so I can see the commission like, you know what, nah, bro, you gotta lay low for like 90 days or some shit like that, you know.
Dude, don't fight enough as it is, man. Like, I don't know, that might be the poll topic. Can Hurd win another title?
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Hurd, Hurd, like I said, Hurd has something that probably, because Hurd lacks a boxing identity. Like his original style that got him the 2 titles and the good victories was physically taxing, and then we get him to box more, he's not effective. So it's like he needs to find an identity soon because
he got long arms. But look, man, throw him over there with Robert Garcia.
Yeah, like he has a lot of physical gifts though, but. Like them gifts will go away, like I say, because you can't like hard fights. I mean, he'll probably be like the black version of Fernando Vargas at 154. Because he took so many hard fights in a row. Then one fight actually broke him, literally. And was
at least Vargas was losing the damn all-time greats and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
And Hall of Famers, like.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, at least
J-Rock and Arias, they solid fighters, but they not sniffing the Hall of Fame or nothing right now.
Well, I mean, J-Rock is in the high level of the Arias, though. I mean, I'll say that Arias is not someone.
Yeah, he is, but still, like, he's still not seeing the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, and it's like, I mean, Hurd has too many gifts to be so ordinary, and that ordinary, like, if you don't fix it soon, like, he's probably looking at the end of his career in a couple of years. Man,
that's the thing. Hurd would have to beat Munguia, Andre, and somebody else of quality for us to be like, okay, shit, he turned it around. Mm-hmm, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he might be Hall of Fame level, but you got to get those wins first, man. But I hope he could turn it around, but it don't look likely right now.
Yeah, no. So it's just, but like I said, though, it was still a hell of a fight. A fight that we definitely didn't expect it to be that live. Shout out to Rusty Taylor again for that shit. But that was a hell of a fight. And then after that, that's the card kind of starts taking a little dive. Now,
I'm so sorry. I laugh at what DZ just put in there. Shout out to DZ.
DZ's a damn fool, man. Shout out to him, man.
Oh man.
But after that, the card kind of took a dive. Like, I'm not going to talk too much about Badu Jack and his replacement opponent. I would think that, the dude would have been interested. Like, you know what? I'm on the stage. I am a puncher. I would, at least would try to make an effort, to actually try to knock this nigga out. No, but, none of that shit. Like, I mean, he came in, he looked mentally overwhelmed. And then, Badu Jack has the patience of a saint because Badu Jack Primo was just ripping him to the body early, and dude was clinching a lot. He got a point took a couple times, I think, and was flirting with a DQ. And then finally, Jack put him down 3 times, and then the automatic 3 knockdown rule was in effect, which is rare. That's another thing that's rare. Like it's rare I see that rule enforced, but hey, Florida be doing Florida things,
Blame Florida.
Oh man, but yeah, at least Badu got himself another stimulus type win, and I think he just recently announced that he's going to be competing at cruiserweight. All I gotta say is God bless him. Cruiserweight is not as dangerous as it used to be, but it has a good amount of danger.
Yeah,
because right now cruiserweights is thoroughly in the African Russian era. Oh, well, although Badu Jack is Gambian, so he might fit in anyway. So
yeah, you better start out quicker in these fights. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm saying so.
Hard to make those epic comebacks on them damn big ass cruiserweights.
Exactly. Like them cats will hurt you early. So. But but Jack did what he had to do, and then we have the main event, and by which now everyone came in. Everybody decided Showtime. Like I said, the commentary was lackluster. Showtime was trying to be on some Triller shit.
It failed.
Yeah, even Triller, the person who does Triller's Twitter, even mentioned it too. It's like, yeah, y'all gotta leave that. Y'all gotta leave that shit to us.
Yeah, they have to, because this is the thing. The way Triller does it, Triller goes in all the way, 100%. Showtime, they still try to act like they're all professional, but
Right.
hold on, we bringing you some hood shit. But hold on, no cursing. But hold on. We bringing you celebrities, but yeah, we're gonna put them way in the beginning of the fight, in the beginning of the card, where no one's gonna be here.
Yeah,
I know my T.O. here. Yeah. We're gonna have musicians, we're gonna have artists, but they're gonna be doing the ring walks.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk over them while they're performing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk over them while they're performing. Yeah, because you don't want to hear the Migos. You don't care about Moneybag Yo. Who's that? Like,
yeah, you know, say. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, so pretty much, yeah, like, and then Showtime doesn't it? Showtime is too established in the boxing game, especially since they've actually had a string, you know, of pretty damn good cards this year so far, and we've shitted on Showtime in the past for being very lackluster, but they've actually been killing it this year, you know,
until Sunday night.
Yeah, until Sunday night, which is easily most likely is probably the worst card they've put out this year, and probably one of the worst cards ever. So yeah, Showtime like they wanted to dabble in the fuckery, but they didn't want to go all in. And it's like, yo, if you're gonna be doing YouTubes and exhibitions, you gotta find a way to really to do it.
And the atmosphere gotta be more lively. Like, it just seemed like it was so dead until the Floyd fight came, and I know Blueface was there. I'm complaining. Well, he said he
spent 12 racks for that shit. Yeah, that nigga lost, bruh.
That's things like you almost get the feeling that Floyd now, I think for the last maybe 5-6 fights of his career, he just been kind of fighting for the entertainers and other celebrities. Somehow fans still dick ride his purse amounts.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh my goodness, that's like, I just cringe anytime someone's like, man, he's robbing the bank, man. What y'all hating for, man? No one's hating, just don't really care, but okay.
Yeah, no one fucking cares, bro. Like, and it's just this shit. Like, I mean, this is conversations I was telling LB earlier off this podcast. Like, I was having conversations like this in real life on my own Facebook and people that I know. It's like, nigga, who gives a shit? Like, you know how much Floyd made? Like, nigga, is he paying you? Are you getting a check from Mayweather Promotions with Leonard LB's signature on the check, nigga? Like, the fuck? Did you pay for this?
People gotta stop that shit. Like, oh my god, like you sound like a hoe when you talk like that.
Yeah,
like only bitches care about how much a nigga making.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you have a stake in this, like if you're getting a check from Floyd, you can verify it, then, you know, good for you. Yes, you're getting paid off what Floyd's doing. Like, fine. But none of these niggas are. Not one. Not
exactly.
One.
So just chill with that shit. It just sounds like some old shit. Like, niggas just mentioned, Pacquiao taking such and such to get a beating from his fans, this, that. It's like, what he got to do with this?
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, Pacquiao at 42 is still a force in boxing. You know, like, rather than, you know, but, you know, they're fucking, he's still fighting because he thinks he's broke.
Unfortunate in a way.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, niggas are being done with this shit. Like, you know, it's like, yo, stop talking about the money, man. And they'll talk about everything other than the money. But, you know, when you talk about the performance, like what went down, you know, and bar none, this exhibition stunk. Like, it was big trash. Like,
honestly, the first 4 rounds were semi-decent as far as they were kind of engaging in the first 4 rounds.
Right.
But after that, the fight fell off a cliff.
Right. And you know the funny things too is, like, I saw some tweet that's like, you know, saying that Floyd got a taste of his own medicine for what he used to do to fans over the years. Like, Logan out Floyd, and I was just like, God damn.
What? Like, oh my god, motherfucker's so dumb saying shit like that.
Nigga, I had to laugh at that shit because I was just like, I was like, damn. Like, I mean, because everyone knows, you know, the you know, what people think of Floyd fights and what they see. I'm like, if you're not Dick Ryan, you don't like, you know, some people don't like watching them fight like that. So, but that's why I won't say it's facts, but I understand where that's coming from.
Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I had to think of, like, Floyd had a lot of unrewatchable ass fights in his later part of his career.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like, I think the Maidana fight was the last rewatchable Floyd fight.
I like the Cotto fight. The Cotto fight was good to me.
I'm talking about like later, like that was
later than that. I got you.
That was hardcore rapping Floyd. Like, what you said, like we was getting all the hip hop Floyd, like.
The first Maidana, the first Maidana fight. I actually thought, because 2014 was a weak ass year, and that was legitimate a fight of the year candidate. The first fight with Maidana, that was a legit fight of the year candidate. Yeah, but then after that, Maidana's like, he wanted to box more, and Floyd wanted to box more. So yeah, it didn't hit the second time around.
And no one really like the fights. Like I thought Canelo fight boring. Guerrero fight boring.
Guerrero fight was trash after 2 rounds.
The who?
The Guerrero fight.
Yeah. That shit was boring. Like Pacquiao fight, corporate office meeting, Wall Street boxing, boring.
You'll never hear me. Like I know people like to say this is boxing. The object is to hit and not get hit. No, get the fuck out of here with that. No.
Yeah, like get off this nigga dick.
Like if you pay $100 for this pay-per-view and you got nothing from the 3 fight card, not one memorable thing, then yeah, it deserves its criticism.
Yeah, and it's only right. Like people just keeping it real, but it's like we don't hate Floyd. We knew what it was. It was a money grab, and he has his right to do that. No one hating, but. And just saying the card was trash.
He has the right to do what he wants, and I have a right to not give a fuck.
Right.
Exactly. And we gotta write the shit on it if it's sorry, if it's trash. And I'm exercising those rights.
The shit was trash. Like, one thing, now before we all thought, okay, at least Floyd, at least has a liver shot for this nigga to put him away. Because, but when they got in the ring, it was clear that Logan rehydrated at least 20-something pounds. He was a full-fledged heavyweight in there. Like, he was at least 210. Dude was, and then Floyd probably was not even a pound over 160. He looked like, because Floyd doesn't really rehydrate like that. I will say that. He doesn't really.
Like he was in better shape for this fight than the McGregor fight, though.
Yeah,
I think he did take Logan Paul more serious just because of the weight.
Yeah,
and it's a more difficult fight. McGregor, come on, boxing style.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Logan was a champion wrestler, and wrestlers can, it's hard to out-muscle a wrestler in anything, because that's like the one skill set that they can actually bring into boxing. Like you're not, if you're not familiar with wrestling, like even in the old days, like boxers used to train with wrestlers in order how to get advantages in the clinch. That used to be a thing. So Floyd was not really in control once Logan clinched, and that's where the fight really took a dive.
Yeah, because from the 5th round on, the last 4 rounds, that's when the fight really got stale. It was too much clinching. It was too much hugging, prom dance. The first 4 rounds was basically Logan Paul, who I thought did a decent job of keeping his distance and using his jab on Floyd, which, we said Logan Paul, that's his best punch. He knows how to keep distance. I give him his credit. I'm not just going to shit on dude for that. So he was decent with that, but nothing special. And Floyd, with his abysmal work rate, I wasn't expecting much either. Just some pot shots here or there, and we was getting that. And then I think he heard Paul, and Paul started leaning. He started gassing. Yeah, and it just was like, slow dance.
I don't know what round it was, but I shared a GIF with y'all. I saw like where Floyd definitely hit him with a harder right, and he kept him up. Like it was like, come on, like he literally Paul fell. Paul was gonna fall, but Floyd literally used all his strength to keep him up. It was kind of obvious.
I don't know. Logan has gone on video and said no, he was not asleep. He wasn't knocked out or anything like that.
He didn't look knocked out. I just felt like he just used his body on Floyd.
Yeah.
Like Floyd wasn't even strong enough to throw him off.
Yeah, because in boxing, we talked about this before, obviously skill pays the bills, but when you start having weight disparities, sometimes weight and size is just too much. Like not every boxer out there can fight above their weight, can give up that much weight at all. Like the ones that do are unicorns, like they're pure unicorns. Like and they have some sort of weird, either they're super slick or they have otherworldly power. You know.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd
he said himself he's not 21 no more. I mean, no one asked him to be 20 years younger, but
yeah. I mean, Floyd now is what, 44. Like, I mean, this is the first you can really see if Father Time is really sitting on him. Like, you can see Father Time on Floyd. In this
definitely.
thing. And I think the reason why is more just because usually, like, everyone's like expecting that he should be able to put him away. Like, obviously, like if it was prime Floyd, I'm pretty sure Floyd would have found his liver. And then on top of that, you know, Floyd's other exhibitions, there were knockouts. You know, like the Conor McGregor, that was his actual pro fight, knocked him out. And then the Japanese kickboxer, he knocked out. You know, so these are things that people are expecting. And Paul and those two had, you know, combat sport credibility.
And the sizes were comparable to Floyd. You know, one was
the kickboxer was a lot smaller than Floyd.
Yeah, McGregor ain't a big guy like that either. So.
Yeah, but Paul. I mean, this is Paul. The optics say that Logan Paul, a goof, you know, that made his money on YouTube, is able to give Floyd these type of issues, even someone, an older Floyd, but still effective Floyd, and then it doesn't look right, and that's what a lot of people were just kind of disgusted about.
Yeah, and they got it right too because. Yeah. It looked like an easy, like, okay, Floyd should get him with a body shot, or Floyd could even maneuver around the dude enough to even put a sustained offense. So
yeah,
like that's what people really looking at. Like, it is what it is. Like, no one really looked at. I mean, they shouldn't have looked at this seriously.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. But then the funny thing is too, and another thing people look say, oh no, Floyd just carried him. Floyd tried to put Jake Paul away. Like, he attempted. Like, I don't know if people just didn't block that from the line. Floyd attempted, but he just could not do it.
Yeah, because actually Floyd was throwing some hard shots. I'm sorry.
So I think you meant Logan Paul, right? Jake Paul's the other one.
Oh, right. My bad. Logan Paul. Sorry.
I think he, like, if it was Jake Paul, he would have knocked him out with some of the shots that he threw.
I hope Floyd's not building up for that Jake fight, and it sounds like he might not.
I think he is.
Yeah, he probably is. We'll see what happens with the Woodley fight. But I'm just saying, I don't know if he should. I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, the way he looked, Jake might even sneak something in there, like.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a better puncher than Logan Paul. Logan Paul just seems more athletic.
Yeah, Logan. One of the things that Logan does not do is turn over on his punches. Like, even when he had that little flurry,
he pushes his punches. Like, all of his punches are pushed.
Jake Paul, if Jake Paul does the same punches that Logan Paul did, you're gonna see way better quality punches. So yeah.
So I mean, although Logan Paul did have his moment, though, I think he had one where he landed a 1-2 on Floyd, and you could see Floyd's head kind of shift a little bit because there was just too much weight behind that shot. Even though it was kind of
on the side of the head too, so that's a bad spot to get hit by, I think, dude.
So I think Floyd probably kind of played it super safe because, like I said, even though he was a great fighter. Like, you don't want to get hit with some silly shit like that, and your body's not used to getting hit by heavyweights, especially a heavyweight doesn't really know
this heavyweight like that. Yeah, throw those shots at different angles and. Them crazy dudes, them dudes who don't have the formal training, those are the ones that could get you.
Exactly. So that's what made this exhibition, like, it dived. Like, I mean, you can hear the boos, like the boo birds were there. I heard it. There was some boos there, and cats. I mean, obviously there's no decision, but for the fact that Logan Paul went 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. That's what people were kind of like. Yeah, people were not feeling that at all. Like Floyd. I mean, if Floyd at least went all out to try to stop him, at least, and then Logan Paul just happens to be a tough SOB, then that's another thing.
Or legit drop him or something. But
yeah, at least drop him.
It's like Floyd let these dudes walk away with the moral victory.
Right, and credibility, which is the worst thing you give. Yeah. Both Jake brothers now have credibility in this game, and they shouldn't for all the wrong fucking reasons.
So Willie gonna get a chance to to change that, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he will, but he'll have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it right now. Woodley's gonna get KO'd in 1 by Jake Paul. I'm saying it right now, and I'll say it again.
No, Jake Paul's definitely knocking him out. I feel like that, but I don't know about 1, but definitely early.
I think it might be the second round.
Maybe second. Could be first. He's definitely knocking him out. Early.
Yeah, I mean, Woodley's burned out physically. He's burnt the fuck out.
But you know,
And
the
mentally.
highest payday could reinvigorate you sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, because according to his words, he's getting paid the most he's ever had, ever. And dude fought for a minute in UFC, so I mean, that's also pretty sad too.
I mean, he slaved for a minute at UFC.
He did.
They don't be paying niggas over there. They don't pay nobody over there, really.
No.
He be the brokest, most famous fighter in the world at UFC.
Yeah, and then what the funny thing is too? Francis Ngannou, his tweet was like, a YouTuber just made like $10 million or whatever doing this exhibition. What are we doing wrong?
Yeah, what are you doing wrong?
You're for the wrong block.
Yeah, you're signed to a slave deal. How about that? That's what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You may as well be doing damn Mandingo fights at this point. Shit. Better holler at Eddie.
I'm saying,
Shit, but man, I'm done with this fucking Floyd foolishness, man. Like,
yeah, like Floyd, like honestly, like the purpose of an exhibition is to entertain people, like give people a show, like and other people say it's like, well, why are you dumping on Floyd exhibition? Muhammad Ali did it. Muhammad Ali did it. Yes, he did at the end of his career, and he also.
Hold on, we comparing the showmanship of Muhammad Ali to Floyd. How low has boxing fallen?
I was gonna say, some of those old exhibitions, like that exhibition between Ali and Inoki, is kind of rough to watch. Like,
the Inoki is rough to watch because it didn't go to plan. But the one with Lyle Alzado, the football great or whatever. I mean, that one was actually entertaining because Ali was older and had more damage, but even then, he still managed to make that shit look entertaining.
I don't know why niggas think the guy who gave us the Baltimore fight is going to be making exciting exhibitions.
No, honestly, yes, Floyd, yes, it's a bag, but some shit like this will hurt your brand. Like, you just let a Paul brother get credibility because you couldn't put him away. Not once.
Yeah.
So, no, and then let's say.
So hold on, did Floyd win the fight and Paul won the event?
Oh,
good Lord.
Haha. That's pretty much it, man. Logan Paul won the event. Like, what you say, it's like, yeah, the greatest of the last, 10, 20 years failed to knock me out. And I walked away, unscathed. So yeah, Floyd, that's what you're doing, bro. Like, if I was Floyd, like I said, Father Time is starting to set on him for sure. Like, so obviously we're not expecting him to. He's not gonna fight pro again. Of course, he'd be stupid to try. But you're better off at least trying to go into wrestling like you did before. Fight Big Show or somebody. Somebody in WWE again. Like,
oh Lord.
Nah, just promote and manage your fighters, man. Just chill. I'm good on this nigga.
Yeah.
Like, and talk about a real fucking exhibition fight.
You should chill in the sunset with all his money and promote Tank correctly. Or get
exactly.
Yeah. Promote Tank and Badu Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Do it before do it, and take control before they start. Before Tank starts taking the ridiculous taking L's all over the place.
Yeah, so, let them cross the street some. But yeah, man, fuck this. Let's go into this damn exhibition with Chavez, man.
Yeah.